Dear students of class 9th, today we will discuss new chapter of geography. Name of the chapter is drainage. The term drainage is used to describe the river system of an area. Generally in the mountainous regions, several small streams flowing from different directions come together to form the main river, which ultimately drains into a large water body such as a lake or a sea or an ocean. Now let us discuss another important geographical term, that is drainage basin. You might have studied in junior classes also about a river basin, an area drained by the main river and its tributaries is known as a river basin, or if you want, you can call it a drainage basin. So instead of saying an area drained by the main river and its tributaries is known as a drainage basin, simply what we can say, an area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. And what is a single river system? So that is formed by the main river and its tributaries. And with regard to the tributaries, these are the small rivers which are joining the main river. Again, let us discuss some of the important terms. What is drainage? Just I have told you, the term drainage describes the river system of an area. Then drainage basin, the area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. Then another new important term, that is water divide. In very simple sentence, what we can say, a mountain or an upland or a hill which separates two drainage basins is termed as a water divide. For example, we can take the example of Ambala water divide. It separates Indus basin and the Ganga drainage basin. After that, we'll discuss about another very important term, that is river system. A river along with its tributaries may be called as river system. So these are the terms that you will keep in mind. You must learn by heart. Now we will discuss about the drainage systems of our country. So with regard to the drainage system of our country, we can broadly divide the drainage systems of our country into two main types or two major groups, the Himalayan river system and the peninsular river system. So with regard to the Himalayan river system, this river system is formed by the rivers which are flowing from Himalayas or which are originating from the Himalayas. And with regard to the peninsular rivers, these are the rivers which are originating from the hills of peninsula. So now let us discuss about some of the important differences what we are getting in between the Himalayan river system and the peninsular river system, because this question is also very important. You may be getting differentiate between the Himalayan river system and the peninsular river system. So the important points of differences in between the Himalayan river system and the peninsular river system are, first one, with regard to the Himalayan rivers, what I told you just now, these rivers are originating from the Himalayas, and the first point what we can include in the peninsular river, these are the rivers which are originating from the hills of peninsula. Another point what we can count here, very important point, with regard to the catchment area of the Himalayan rivers, that is very large. But with regard to the peninsular rivers, their catchment area is very small. And what is catchment area? Catchment area is the area from which a river gets its drainage, or you can say the source of water. So that is known as catchment area of a river. So the Himalayan rivers are having large catchment area, but with regard to the peninsular rivers, they are having very small catchment area. Another point of difference, with regard to the Himalayan rivers, these rivers pass through the gorge, or we can say ice-shaped valley. But with regard to the peninsular rivers, these rivers form broad and shallow valleys. Another point of difference, with regard to the Himalayan rivers, these rivers are engaged in high erosional activities. But with regard to the peninsular rivers, these rivers are having very little erosional capacity, or you can say they are engaged in very small, very little erosional activity. Another point of difference, with regard to the Himalayan rivers, they are used for irrigation, as they are perennial in nature. They are having water throughout the year. But with regard to the peninsular rivers, these are of little use for irrigation. Another point of difference, with regard to the Himalayan rivers, they are getting their source of water from glacier and also from monsoonal rainfall. But with regard to the peninsular rivers, they are having single source, that is monsoonal rainfall. So they are seasonal in nature, or you can say the peninsular rivers are non-perennial in nature. So if you want, you can count names of the important rivers also. In the Himalayan river, the important river what we are getting in this system are the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. These are the important rivers of the Himalayan rivers. With regard to the peninsular rivers, the important peninsular rivers are Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Narmada and Tapi. So these are the important peninsular rivers. After that, we will discuss about drainage pattern. So different rivers, they are forming different types of designs, and with regard to the designs formed by the rivers depend on the slope of the land, underlying rock strata, as well as the climatic condition of the area. So these are the three important factors which are influencing the drainage pattern or the designs formed by rivers. First one, that is dendritic pattern. So dendritic pattern develops where the river channel flows the slope of the land. The stream with its tributaries resembles the branches of a tree. So the first one, this is the drainage pattern which is showing you the dendritic design. Then after that, another one is trellis pattern. With regard to the trellis pattern, this pattern is found generally in those areas where hard and the soft rocks exist parallel to each other, and in this pattern the tributaries are joining the main river at approximately right angle. Then third one, this is the rectangular pattern. So with regard to the rectangular drainage pattern, it develops on a strongly jointed rocky terrain. And the fourth and the last pattern, that is the radial pattern. So this pattern develops when streams flow in different directions from a central peak or dome-like structure. So these are the four important drainage patterns, or you can say the designs formed by different rivers of the world depending upon the slope of the land, underlying rock structure, as well as the climatic condition of an area. After that, we will discuss